Go. Hello and welcome to a quick review of my choices on the Game of Thrones Telltale game series. A series that I thoroughly enjoyed, even though I've never actually watched any of the Game of Thrones TV show. I know, horrific. But I really liked things like picking Duncan as my sentinel, and the way how you were immediately forced to betray or side with certain characters, and that was very much down to the personalities and the way how they perceived things. And what I really liked is these, and I'm not going to necessarily refer to a lot of the choices as we're going through these screenshots, but the game very much made you start off, or at least for me, I started off in a very passive, let's try and help and sort everyone out. But as the game went along through each episode, I found myself increasingly having to get my elbows out and make really critical and more aggressive decisions. In terms of characters, I think my favourite was Beshka. That woman is amazing, kicks really ass. And I went out of my way to make sure that she got what she needed. I wished I'd been maybe a lot more diplomatic with Mira's story. And if I was critical about the game as a whole, and big spoilers, where her story goes, and also with the Northgrove story, although I really liked Tuttle as a character, they kind of do feel very separate from the main story arc. And I know that there's now season 2 that's been announced, but I kind of do wonder where that will all collide back in again, and how much, especially Mira's story, will actually matter in the grand scheme of things at all. But a really great character selection, really hard, awful choices as usual. I wish there was some slightly less technical issues with the game itself, but 2 thumbs up from me. Made me hate myself. Once you've completed all of the Season 1, it shows you a little hybrid video of all your choices. I really love it, so I'm just going to stick it on the end. Enjoy.
Are you listening, Reek? Father wanted to make sure they'd bend the knee. And what do I find? A child lord. Ethan the Wise. With some parasite by his side. As if I'd come to negotiate. And I thought, oh, this is going to be fun.
Mira was so devoted when we first came to King's Landing. That day Cersei dragged her before the throne, Grandmother, I was actually worried for her. But she didn't have any trouble swearing loyalty to Joffrey right in front of me. And then, after that whole business with Tyrion, I thought she knew how to stay loyal when it mattered. But then there was that day when she pushed me to ask Joffrey for help, when he ripped my dress. It was bold, I'll give her that. But I can't forgive that she used me. And now, with all that's happened, the gods know what Mira was doing behind my back. Grandmother, it makes me question if she was ever loyal to me at all.
I saw something of myself in Garrett Tuttle. I thought I could trust in him, Sam. But I was wrong. He gave me his word that he'd stay true to the vows he'd made in the Godswood. Yet before a day was out, a brother was dead atop the wall. I needed his sword at Craster's. I defended him to Frostfinger. And it cost me. Whatever happened up there, a man of the Watch doesn't run away.
Who should return then? But another Lord Forrester. Roderick. Back from the twins with balls so shrunken he let Griff Whitehill beat him into the mud in his own yard. Reek, I had to come and see this walking tragedy for myself. But he didn't even have the courage to stab me with my own blade. But then, he killed the man who betrayed him. I was rather starting to like him. A shame he didn't last longer. Roderick. A savior who couldn't save anyone.
There was something about Asher Forrester. You would have liked him, Miss Sandine. He was rude and aggressive, mind you. But he didn't play games. Asher needed my help. I needed to know if he deserved it, so I tested him. But there was no easy answer. But then he told me the truth. He'd risked losing all he had